Beyond brain drain, Canada's hidden tech diaspora, reshaping global innovation. Imagine a powerful and invisible force emanating from Canada, silently reshaping the world's most cutting-edge technologies. It's not a secret government project. It's not a massive singular corporation. It is something far more organic, decentralized, and paradoxically, absent. We're going to pull back the curtain on Canada's tech diaspora. For decades, we've been told a scary story. The brain drain, the idea that when our smartest minds leave for Silicon Valley, Canada loses. But what if that story is wrong? What if those brilliant minds aren't lost? They're just deployed. Is Canada truly hemorrhaging its future, or is something far more profound happening? We've spent months digging into the data, investigating networks like the C100, and tracking the flow of venture capital. The answer defies conventional wisdom. You might be surprised to learn that this so-called exodus is actually fueling a new era of global innovation, with a subtle but powerful feedback loop that is quietly rebuilding Canada's economy from the outside in. The brain drain narrative is dead. Let's discover what's taking its place. Part 1. The myth of the leaky bucket. Let's start with the elephant in the room, the leaky bucket theory. It goes like this. Canadian universities produce world-class engineers. The U.S. offers them double the salary and half the taxes, and they leave. Game over. And look, the data is scary. A 2025 report confirmed that retention is a crisis. Highly skilled immigrants and STEM grads are leaving Canada at alarming rates. Why? The usual suspects. Cost of living, housing prices in Toronto and Vancouver, and a salary gap that can be frustratingly wide. But here is where the brain drain narrative fails. It assumes that talent is a finite resource like oil that, once shipped out, is gone forever. It treats a software engineer moving to San Francisco like a tree being cut down. But talent isn't a commodity. It's a network node. In the 2020s, migration isn't a one-way ticket. It's the building of a bridge. When a University of Waterloo grad lands a senior role at OpenAI or a VP spot at a London fintech giant, they don't cease to be Canadian. They become a high-powered access point for Canada into the world's most exclusive rooms. Part 2. The global Canadian tech web. Enter the C100. If you haven't heard of them, you should. It's a non-profit association of influential Canadians in tech, largely based in the Bay Area. We're talking about 400 members representing trillions in market cap. These are Canadians who are founding, leading, and funding the companies that define our modern lives. Take a look at the landscape. You have Canadians leading critical projects at Google, Apple, and completely dominating in AI research. This isn't an accident. The Mafia effect, where alumni of one successful company go on to fund and found others, has gone cross-border. It works like this. A Canadian founder in the Valley needs a They look north. A Canadian VC firm like Innovia Capital wants to lead a Series B round. They tap their network in San Francisco to validate the tech. This isn't just people hanging out. It's a transactional, high-value economy. This distributed network acts as a global sensor. These expats are the first to see new trends in AI, quantum, or biotech. And because they are culturally and emotionally tied to Canada, that information flows back home faster than it does to other nations. They are Canada's eyes and ears on the ground of the future. Part 3. The boomerang effect and reverse flow. Here is the most exciting part. The return. We call them boomerang employees. Recent data suggests a massive spike in tech workers returning to their previous employers or home countries. And when they come back, they aren't the same junior developers who left. They return as seasoned They return with Rolodexes full of Silicon Valley investors. They return with a scale-at-all-costs mindset that you just can't learn in a smaller market. And the market values this. Boomerang talent often commands a 20 to 25% salary premium. Why? Because they are importing global best practices directly into Canadian startups. Look at founders like Andrew D'Souza of Clearco or Michael Kachan of Wealth. These aren't insular success stories. These are leaders who understood the global game and brought that playbook back to Toronto. They didn't just build companies. They built ecosystems. And let's talk about money. The reverse flow isn't just talent. It's capital. Venture capital firms like Georgian partner Sorinovia are explicitly designed to bridge this gap, using global insights to fund Canadian growth. And don't forget the ambassador effect. Why do Google, Microsoft, and Uber have massive AI R&D hubs in Montreal and Toronto? Often, it's because a high-ranking Canadian executive inside those companies advocated for it. They convinced their U.S. bosses that Canada was the place to be. Part 4. The danger and the opportunity. Now, I don't want to paint a utopia. The brain gain strategy only works if Canada is a place worth returning to. And this is where the danger lies. If our housing market remains broken, if our tax rates for high earners stifle ambition, and if our productivity continues to lag, that boomerang won't come back. It will just keep flying. The leaky bucket report was a warning shot. We can't rely on nostalgia to bring people home. We need policy innovation. 1. Tax incentives for boomerangs. Imagine a tax holiday for returning tech talent who start companies. 2. Recognized credentials. We need to make it frictionless for global talent, not just Canadians, to plug into our economy. 3. Global first mindset. We need to stop complaining about talent leaving and start celebrating their deployment, provided we maintain the relationship. The opportunity is massive. Canada has the chance to become the world's first platform nation, a country that understands its borders don't define its economy. Our GDP isn't just what happens on Canadian soil. It's the sum total of Canadian influence globally. Conclusion: a new economic vision. So, is the brain drain real? Yes, but it's the wrong thing to focus on. In a hyper-connected world, trying to hoard talent inside your borders is a losing strategy. The winning strategy is circulation. Canada's hidden tech diaspora isn't a tragedy. It's our greatest strategic asset. It's a fleet of thousands of ambassadors, investors, and innovators working in the engine rooms of the future. The question isn't, how do we keep them here? The question is, how do we empower them to help us build here, even while they are there? If we can shift our mindset from retention to connection, the next big Canadian tech breakthrough might not just happen in Waterloo. It might happen in a coffee shop in Palo Alto, funded by a Canadian VC, coded by a team in Montreal, and sold to the world. And that is a future worth building. I want to hear from you. Are you a Canadian working abroad? Do you plan to return? Or are you a founder here, leveraging that global network? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you like our content, please like and subscribe to support what we are doing.